guys, here's another page in my Pocket Page notebook using the Rise and Shine digital kit. I've got these two photos here, and what I want to do is have a paper in the background, and I'm thinking this yellow because I love yellow and it goes really nicely with this yellow 3x4 journaling card. And I'm actually going to stitch my photo and my journaling card into the pocket. So I've got to do the stitching first, so I'm going to start by just grabbing a couple of little pieces of washi tape just to stick on my photo, just on the back of it, so that I can stick that onto the pocket where I want the photo to be. And then I can use that as a guide to punch some holes through the pocket to do my stitching. So I've learnt my lesson a few times, and I'm putting a considerable amount of stuff behind the pocket so I don't poke little holes into the pages behind it. And then I've got my stitching mat, and I'm just using a drawing pin just to poke some holes around the edge of the photo. I'm not right up against the photo, I am leaving a little gap. I don't want it to be too tight, but all the way around the photo. And then I can remove all those mats and just carefully pull the photo off. Careful not to stick it to my desk. And then I can go ahead and do some stitching. So surprise, surprise, I'm not using gold thread today, I'm going to use white. So I'm just threading my needle, putting my needle through the first hole, and then I'm just going to tie a little knot. Just it doesn't need to be super tight, nothing's going to be pulling out of here. And then I'm just doing a single running stitch, and I'm going to do that all the way along the three sides. I'm leaving the top open so that I can insert my photo and journal card before I finish stitching that together. So I've sped through that for you. It does take a little bit of time. It's slightly awkward once you get to the spine here. And then I'm just leaving my needle and thread attached, but then I'm going to work on the piece that I'm going to insert. So I've got my photo and I've got my journaling card, but before I stick them all together, I just want to do some journaling on the journaling card, and I'm going to do that with my typewriter. Super simple, and then I'm not even adding any more glue. I'm just going to use the folded up washi tape that was already on the photo just to glue those back to back. They don't need to be attached solidly, they'll be stitched into the pocket, but it's just to hold them together so that they don't rattle around too much in there. Just trimming down any obvious white bits I can see, and then I can slip that into the pocket I've created with the stitching, and then just finish stitching along the top to secure it in there. I mean, you could totally leave it open and just have it as a wee pocket if you wanted to be able to take it in and out, but I really like the look of just having that all closed up in there. If you didn't want to hand stitch it like this, you could probably give it a go with your sewing machine, or even with a fuse tool would make it even simpler, but I really love the texture that the stitching gives it. Once I'm finished, I'm just tying another little knot on the back of that, and that's my insert pocket all done. Now my original thought was to go like super yellow themed, so I had that diagonal yellow paper and the yellow journal card, but those pink polka dots were sitting there and I actually thought they might go nicely too. I'm wearing a pink hoodie in the photo and I thought it sort of tied it in nicely together. And then if I add the little banner on the front, which I was going to anyway because it was yellow as well, then it sort of goes nicely, the pink and yellow. So I decide I'm going to go with the pink polka dots. So the whole theme for this page actually came from that little word banner about coffee. It's a big part of my life. So it all worked out nicely in the end. So I'm just adding some tape runner to my page, and then I can stick that digital paper down. And I'm going to hide the second photo behind the journaling photo part in the pocket, so just making sure that that's going to be hidden, and it is, so I can glue that down. And then I'm going to glue my banner on top of the pocket, and I don't think tape runner is going to do it, so I'm going to use a little bit of double-sided tape. I think that should be strong enough to keep it attached. If not, you could always put like a tiny attacher or something through it. And because it's off the photo a little bit, you do see the banner on the back side, so I just want to cover that up. I'm going to use another banner. And since I've changed the colour scheme, I decided I could add another colour quite easily. So I'm going to add this teal in, and I really like those three colours together, the yellow, pink and teal. So from where I originally thought this whole thing was going to go, it ends up quite different. So again, I'm just using some double-sided tape to attach that and just placing it so that it covers up the back side of that other banner. And that's 2 pages done, so I've just got to work on my front page here. And to do that, I'm just going to use some of the pieces from the cut apart sheet, I think. So just looking through it, seeing if there's any pieces that I want to add. I really like the circle with the heart, and I do want to add a label, so I think I'm going to go with the teal blue one just to tie in the teal on the back page there. And I go through all of this thinking I might add lots of little bits and pieces, but I think in the end I quite like it just simple, so I've just got the label. So I'm going to stick that down, and because I've done the journaling on the back, there's nothing really to add to this, so I'm actually going to date stamp it. When I've been looking through my walkthroughs of some of my other journals, one of the things I wish I'd done on some of the pages was date stamp them so that I could remember when it was. So I'm adding the date from when I actually took these photos, not necessarily the date that I'm making the page. And I decided, since that washi tape was sitting there, it went perfectly now that I changed the background paper. So I'm going to add a little bit of that under the label as well. I mean, it's got those polka dots and it's almost the same colour pink, so sort of cool tone pink. So that worked nicely. And I think for my title I'm going to use some stamping. So I'm going to use the Grant Street Alpha from Kelly Stamps, and I'm just going to stamp my title above all that. But I went to stamp the first one, and because the back page has got all sequins and stuff in it, it's a little bit lumpy, so I'm going to cheat and just put my stitching mat underneath there. And it does make it really a lot easier to stamp. So I'm just stamping out my title. It's not particularly straight, but I think the jitteriness of it sort of adds to that whole coffee feeling, really. So that's my title, Just One Cup, and I just kind of feel like it needs a little something else, so I am actually going to stick the circle with the heart on it back in, just to add a little touch more yellow. So I think it looks best up there, so that's where I'm going to put it. I'm just sticking that down. But as I look at it, like, that page is alright because you can see the 2 tealy bits, but this one, the teal sort of is sitting there for no reason. So I wondered about maybe adding some Nuvo drops up here, but I wanted it on both pages and I didn't know how I was going to hold the pocket up while it dried. So instead, I went through my stash of enamel dots and found the very few that I could that had any teal dots left. So I'll grab both those sheets because I don't really love these bigger ones, but that's really all I've got left. So I'm going to add a couple up on the top right here, and you'll be able to see them from the front page as well. So then, to tie it in just a little bit more and give me that third pop of teal on this page, I'm going to add a couple more down here as well. And now I feel like my page is finished. If you want to grab the Rise and Shine kit for yourself, I'll leave the link down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to keep watching, there's a couple more videos on screen. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys!